So morning guys, and we are back out another week with RB. Had a week off and we are back out again, and today we are road testing an ISCA. So just to let you know, all the bikes from Lexmoto are now starting to arrive. We have the LXS in, and that is going to be up in a couple of days for me to go out and do the first video. Hopefully we'll try and get that out as quick as we can, because obviously a lot of people are asking for the LXS video. We'll get out and get that one done. So we're going to do a little bit of a round town mileage first, a little bit of urban, and just show you what this ISCA is like. Now this is a ride test for a customer that has purchased this bike, as we always do. Nice steady 40 mile an hour running in procedure. Now these ISCAs, very comfortable. When they first come out I wasn't a lover of the tanks, but I will tell you, this new style tank with the folds around the front of the tank, both sides of the frame, from the front, when you actually look at it, it looks like a ladybird opening its wings, and I didn't like the tank to start with. I thought, oh, it's a little bit of an ugly design. Do you know what? I've changed my mind. I absolutely love these. Now, the idea being, that tank obviously is open at the front, you've got the fins either side. In the wind, yeah, it goes straight down the middle, a little bit more stabilisation on it, not a lot, but what it does is deflect that wind off of your knees. So if you are riding into a headwind, you're not going to end up with the cold knees that is normally associated with biking. It does allow you to tuck your knees in very nicely behind the tank, and you're doing a damn sight more than 30 mile an hour in the 30 area. You should know better, being a taxi. So very good design on the tank. Now the mirrors on these, they're not that bad. And I've got about a third of my shoulder in the mirror, but it's still ample to see the road behind. And as I always say, and as you've probably seen from my last video, shoulder checks. Make sure you get your shoulder checks in, your looks down the road left and right, being observant. And if you have seen the previous video of me on that bike having my down days, you will notice that I did about 2 or 3 shoulder checks pulling out of that junction. Now that junction is an absolute pain in the backside to get out of, because you've got to get right over your shoulder. And a lot of people did say, oh yeah, but there was a gap. No, there wasn't. Go back and have a look at the video, put it in YouTube and put it in 0.25. You'll see white car moves, I shoulder check, there's a white car, and just behind it, I tend to look 2 or 3 cars behind, there is a red car. As I pull up, I do the second shoulder check. White one's already turned in, but then the red one turns in with no indicator, hence boom, off I come. But isn't it better to be a little bit more cautious and aware when riding a bike, than rather than just pull out, oh god, there's a car? So hence the reason I tend to sort of wait at junctions, couple of shoulder checks in, and I tend to be looking around all the time I am riding. Now obviously we follow a lot of channels on the tube, and we follow a lot of the big ones as well, like the crash ones like the Moto Stars, Moto Madness, Dirt Bike Rider. We follow all of those guys, and some of the stuff that you watch and it's like, oh Jesus, most of it is speeding, most of it's not being aware. But we always say, coming up to a junction, so for instance we'd be looking here, over here, side of a car, is there a car in the junction? And luckily it's nice and sort of quiet this morning, it's about 7:30 at the moment, but you'd always be looking about 100 yards ahead, 100 to 200 yards ahead, looking at all the side roads, looking for cars, side of a car. If you see a side of a car, back off the throttle a bit. Has he seen you? Is he going to be aware that you are there? So that is what we'd always say. And most bikers will say, ride like everyone else is out to kill you. That is the easiest way, because it is a very well known fact. Once again, junction, side of a car, where is he going? Get your shoulder checks in. And obviously looking through the corners. The safest way to ride is to be observant. If you're just going to hammer around at 40-50 mile an hour, not give a damn in the world, there is always going to be that one idiot car driver. And of course everybody with the lockdown hasn't been out in their car for absolutely ages. Most of them, unless they're using a daily commute, most of those people that have been stuck at home haven't driven a car for absolutely ages, unless they're doing the run to the shops at the weekend or going shopping during the week. So people in cars are going to be very, very rusty. Same for us bikers. A lot of us haven't been out for absolutely ages unless we ride on a daily basis. So it just needs a little bit of time for people to polish up on their driving skills. People tend to forget all the stuff that you learn when you first do your test. Looking around, is this alright, is that alright? So what we'd always say is, be a little bit of observant when you're riding a bike. And obviously Lexmoto have issued a load of new bikes out. So far come out, we've had the LXR Euro 5. We've also had the new LXS that's just been released. The Aura, which is a great little scooter. And the Apollo. Now the Apollo, that's going to replace the Chieftain. And the Apollo is a great looking bike. If you happen to be into your twist and go scooters, very, very big maxi scooter. So they're all coming out. We have another couple of bikes coming out this week. I'm not going to say what they are, but they are a little bit of fun. And obviously can't mention what they are, but you are going to be pleasantly pleased again. Now obviously a lot of people, when the LXS came out, were like, oh yes, but why didn't they do the LXR and the LXS at the same time? The LXR and the LXS are two totally different bikes altogether. Obviously I do love the new LXR Euro 5. I love the black version. Reminds me very much of the Triumph Daytona colours. And if you've seen what the Triumph Daytona looks like, the black and gold Daytonas, very, very similar. And I do like that. Seat is slightly higher on the new LXR, I think by about 20 mil or 25 mil. So it's a little bit higher in the seat. So if you happen to be a long-legged rider, LXR Euro 5 is going to be the best bike for you. If you happen to be in a little bit shorter in the leg, and you fancy something a little bit flamboyant, then the LXS is something to go for. Now obviously that LXS, slightly more horsepower, and we'll go through all the spec of that when I do the LXS ride, but it's slightly more horsepower, still got the 6-speed box, totally different dash, and it's got that under seat exhaust as well. It's got the twin exhaust on it, but we'll tell you all that on the video. And personal choice, what would I go for? I still prefer the LXR at the moment. I have seen the new LXS. It's in our bike bay, ready to be prepped and go up for riding. Now obviously with the LXS they've gone a couple of colours on that. They've got the blue and white one, and they've got the fluoro. Now we're obviously not mentioning a big brand bike, but the LXS, I would say, is very, very MT. And if you happen to know what an MT is, you'll see what I mean. Have a look at the MT-09. Very similar fluoro colours. But if you happen to be into something like that, then I would always say, if you are thinking of buying a bike, go and look at one. Don't just, oh, I love it in the pictures, I love it in the pictures. Photoshop and lighting and camera angles can make a bike look absolutely impressive. It can also make it look like a pile of pants. So it's all down to camera work, a little bit of photoshopping here and there, smoke and mirrors as they say. But I would always say, if you want to have a look at a bike, go and sit on one first. Get your opinion sitting on the bike, see how it feels, see what it's like for comfort, and then make your assumptions from then on in. Don't just go by what you see in a photo. Now obviously there's a lot of big bikes out on the market, and they've just released the new Suzuki Hayabusa. Now the Hayabusa, to look at, is a lovely, lovely looking bike. Is it as good as the old one? Personal opinion, no. I prefer the old carved version of the Hayabusa. The new version, very, very underpowered. It looks like an absolute dream, but there is a couple of bike vloggers that I follow, and one of them said, yes, it's really, really good, I absolutely love it. And that would be Spicy 110. He absolutely loves the Hayabusa. He's had it from Bike Company and he's taken it out. If you happen to follow Lamb Chops, he absolutely hated it. Very overrated for the money, very overpriced, and he wasn't a lover of it. Yes, it's a bike, it's a lovely, lovely bike, but it's not all that. And the same can go for any brand of bike. You know, have a look at a bike, see what you think. Some people like the ISCAs, some people like the Assaults. They like the front end dirt bike look on it. And talking of dirt bikes, is there one coming from Lexmoto? As they say, watch this space. Might be one coming soon, but as I say, watch this space. And I used to love the old Adrenaline. I did like the Tekken as well. The Tekken was absolutely beautiful. A gorgeous bike that was. But there are a lot of new models coming out this year from Lexmoto. This year is going to be bike year, and obviously a lot of people now jumping onto motorcycles, getting rid of the cars, jumping onto motorcycles. And for economy, reliability, handling, and obviously insurance and tax, you're not going to go far wrong on a motorcycle, whether it's a 50 or 125 or a bigger bike. So halfway through our test mileage, this is just the first run to obviously get this one up and prepped, just to make sure everything is good. And we've got a further video to come in a couple of days on this when we do the final test rides. We tend to break our test rides down into two lots of about 7 miles to get about 20k on the clocks. But ISCA handling absolutely perfectly. Now we've taken about 80 inquiries so far. We have got about 50 bikes coming. If you're looking for a bike, we are telling everybody middle of May is when all the bikes are going to be landing. Keep an eye on the page, and that is Eclipse motorcyclesmk.co.uk. Link is up here on the right hand side, and that's got the phone number there for the garage as well, 01908 643 603. We've got quite an eventful week coming up this week. A lot of blogging coming up. We're out to do some big bikes later this afternoon. More photo shoots, so keep an eye on my Instagram. Keep an eye on the Facebook page. Easiest way to find everything, revbomb.co.uk. Link again down on the bottom right here. Jump on there and have a look at all the stuff that we do. But pulling this through the box, clutch is absolutely perfect. Been set up very, very well by my techs. It's about an inch out from the bar, which is where it should be, not right at the end of its travel. Gearbox is lovely and smooth, and I'm going to be heading back to have a coffee and get the rest of the bikes out. Another big week, so whatever you're doing this week, have a good one. Don't forget, obviously, like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down the bottom. Love to see all the comments that people leave me. And I say many thanks for everybody that commented on the accident. Thank you very much. I am better. Back still a little bit sore. Still got a few bruises down the leg, but I am fine. And as always, back out on the bike again. More test rides from me. As I say, crap happens. Don't forget, hit the notifications bell, and a list of all the vloggers that I follow are down the bottom in every feed on the video. Until the next time, guys, when we're out doing another test ride, which is going to be about another couple of hours, be well, ride safe, and as always from RB, it's a big goodbye from me.